This is the Patriots Prayer Network, where truth matters.
The following is a presentation of AOW Productions.
The views and opinions by the hosts and guests of this program do not reflect those of the Patriots Prayer Network, its owners and/or associates. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Every patriot has an obligation to question authority. Those who are honest are not concerned with your watchful vigilance, and those with integrity are not concerned with your discernment. Every American is obligated to voice their concerns and stand up for their freedoms and liberties.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the men in the arena. We are the Patriot Confederation.
We will never back down from a fight. We're undefeated Americans.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Patriot Confederation for the 22nd of July, 2025. I'm your host, Bad Billy, out of Twin Falls, Idaho, joined as always by my brother from another mother, John Grosvenor, out of Nashua, New Hampshire, New England. How's it going up there, brother?
Going good, Billy. I'll tell you what, I know I'm doing a lot better than Barack Obama these days. I know I am. I got to be now, man.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's another story for another time, but wow, can you believe we lost Ozzy Osbourne today?
No, man. I didn't. It was unexpected to me, but I do recall his daughter talking about that tour. It seemed like a farewell tour that he was signaling that he was going to pass or something, but I didn't think she said it like it should be happening any moment. But maybe they kind of had an idea. I don't know.
I mean, when it comes to cocaine, ants, bats, alcohol, and doves. Oh, boy. I mean, rest in peace. Oh, what a legend. He will be missed, the godfather of heavy metal.
Oh, I was going to say, he was a Prince of Darkness, man. He's just not of this realm anymore.
Exactly. And joining us this week, of course, for the first time, it's been, a couple of years. Yes, I want to welcome back Chris Barrett to the show. Chris, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, John. Thanks, Billy, for having me on. Things have changed quite a bit since the last time that I was on.
Yes. I mean, last time we talked, of course, you were involved in other endeavors, and now here you are running for office, and coming off the heels of the Red Pill Expo almost 2 weeks ago in Tulsa, Oklahoma, our good friend, John, if you can remember Dan Happel, we've had him on the show a few times. And, he started an interesting segment at the Red Pill called Why Fight City Hall When You Can Be City Hall. And I'm going to play here about the first couple minutes of his speech because, Chris, I think this really relates to what you're doing here, so go ahead and do that.
Well, this is a part of the program, and actually we usually do this at the very end of the program, but we decided to move it up a little bit. And the reason we did that, we want to make sure that everybody here understands that this is so important. This is the Red Pill University Project, and that's why we do this panel and why we talk about why fight City Hall when you can be City Hall. Because there's no power in standing back and thinking that somebody's going to do the job for you. We are the people who we are waiting for. There is no such thing as an easy way out of this mess. We allowed ourselves to get into this mess, and now we need to be the ones to get us out. Now, the last day and a half, we've learned something that's very, very, very important. We're living in a matrix. Whether we like it or not, we are trapped in a matrix. And that matrix is controlled by a very, very few, very powerful people to enslave humanity and make us part of a one world government. It's not about national governments. It's not about the local governments. It's now about the international new world order. And the only way we're going to fight that is to retain our sovereignty as individuals first, local governments second, state governments third, and federal governments last. But we need to maintain our national sovereignty, and we need to retain our personal sovereignty. And the only way that's going to happen is if we get off our derriere and be part of the solution.
All right. So, Chris, your take on that is this what you're doing, you would say?
Yes, absolutely. So, just a little bit of background on me. I went across several different states in this nation, fighting against drag shows for kids, inappropriate books in school libraries, and child sex changes, those types of things. And I'll tell you what, Billy, the thing that I always found is that while there were always people who were sympathetic to what I had to say, and they seemed like they were listening, especially on like the local and state level. They were very sympathetic, but they didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. And we're seeing the exact same thing going on here in Missouri. We have something called the SAFE Act, which bans child sex changes. Well, guess what? Our Republican supermajority failed to pass the extension on that. Just as a little bit of background, there was a sunset clause built into it. So in 2027, that is going to run out. And by the way, guys, sorry about my dogs. My significant other just walked in.
No problem.
With our Republican supermajority, we failed in this past session to actually get an extension on it to make it permanent, so that we won't have child sex changes in Missouri. So in 2027, if nothing is done, child sex changes will be allowed in Missouri again. So I testified a couple times between House and Senate committees. Well, actually, no, 3 times in the state of Missouri, and nothing got done. I went before city councils to, get drag shows for children banned. Nothing ever happens. I went before school boards to get bad books, very inappropriate books. I mean, these are pornographic books, honestly, out of school libraries. And guess what? Nothing ever happened. So I finally had enough people tell me that I should maybe run for office. I actually rejected that idea for a little bit because I wasn't sure about it. But you know what? That guy is so right. You know what? Why fight city council when you can become a part of it? And what I intend to do is become a part instead of city council. I'm just going uh, you know, head first into this. I'm going to become a part of the Missouri legislature, and we're going to get some stuff done.
Well, one thing that we have happening here in Idaho, especially right here where I live, is as of last year in the May primary, we really cleaned house and we voted out some rhinos. The constituents are happy, but our governor is not. In fact, those few that the constituents are very happy with, when they present a bill to the Capitol in Boise, it doesn't even get heard. So you're going to be dealing with a lot of that. Should I say when you win, you're going to be dealing with a lot of that. So if your constituents are happy, which is that's who you serve to begin with, be prepared for the monsters in the Capitol. They're not going to be happy at all.
Well, I do live kind of in an interesting district that might kind of afford me a little bit of leeway. Uh, and what I mean by that is I live in a very purple district, and that's what I'm going to be running in. So I mean, I think that I can make my constituents happy with negotiating with the establishment to a certain degree. But the thing is I come from the grassroots background, and so that's what I'm going to hold true to. But I do think that my constituents would be happy to see me, at the very least, negotiate with the establishment Republicans, the rhinos, as you call them. And so I mean, I think I think that being in a purple district actually serves me pretty well in that regard. So yeah, I mean, if I was in a super ultra conservative district, um, I do have friends in the legislature who are, and guess what? It's just like you said, Billy. None of their bills are ever heard, ever. you know so I mean, I'm just hoping that I'm not going to be blackballed or anything like that once I win, for standing for good patriotic principles, and sanity and common sense. Hopefully that's not going to be the case, but I mean, again, I am serving my constituents, and I don't think that this is a far right or a far left district. It's not. It's not. So, I mean, I should be able to play with the establishment fairly well, I think.
Yes, yes. Uh, I think John's waiting to say something. He's always standing back, waiting so patiently when he's got something to say.
Well, no, I was just sitting there thinking as he was speaking about the level of corruption in our governments, and I'm not sure about Missouri government compared to the federal government in other states, but I have seen it with candidates where corruption was so bad that four front running candidates failed to win. So I'm kind of curious, as you're campaigning, are you aware of this? Are you watching what's going on, and do you have a team of people that are watching so you can document?
Yeah, so that is all coming around. Keep in mind, guys, my election isn't going to be until November 2026, so we do have some time. I do have political advisors working for me, and as we get closer to next year, we'll probably start seeing some polling and stuff like that done, in order to kind of give me an idea of where things are. Right now, honestly, I'm in fundraising mode, because my opponent is very well funded by the Democrat Party and all of the outside interests that try to influence Missouri. So I need to do a lot of grassroots funding, and I mean, honestly, I mean, I'm pulling out all the stops when it comes to that. It's like I'm looking across the country at this point. It's like anything to help get my campaign off the ground. Please help me. And I don't think there's anything ridiculous about asking for that, just for the simple fact that I mean, I've donated to Republican candidates in other states, you know, just because I wanted to see them win. I thought that they would either be good in U.S. Congress or whatever the case may be. But yeah, but as far as this political machine that is kind of running against me, this is going to be quite a fight, even in a purple district, John. It's going to be a huge fight.
Absolutely. So yeah, there is nothing wrong with what you're saying there. I agree that it's not illegal, it's not immoral. There's nothing wrong with it. As far as where you get your funding, as long as it's not outside the country or something like that.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Yeah. So, yeah, people need to understand two things. You're going to influence your candidates by either funding or votes. It's both or one way or the other. And corporations, leftist agendas and stuff like that raise huge capital. They've got power and funding. We have to have support of the constituents in this. They got to find a fine candidate that you can get behind, elevate that candidate, and stay with them.
Yes.
And I do think it's important just that we do get people in state houses across the country who are properly aligned with a patriotic sort of conservative background. I think that that's kind of important because the federal government, man, that's a behemoth to move. But if we can do this state by state, I think that we might have a chance. Sorry,
Absolutely.
Billy.
No problem. No, we're actually at the first quarter, so that means we got to take our first break. But I'm going to have some other questions for you, continuing this conversation when we come back in about a minute and a half.
In 1930, there were 6 million farms in America. Today, that number has plummeted to 1.8 million. And now 85% of the beef in America is controlled by just 4 companies. That means fewer farmers have to produce more food, thus incentivizing them to produce a high quantity of food instead of high quality food. Plus, if something goes wrong, the 98% of us that don't grow food are at risk of starving. Yikes, that's dark. Let's go darker. A few very wealthy companies have control over all the food. And if North Korea has taught us anything, a centralized food supply can accidentally or intentionally kill a lot of people. The bottom line is this: you can't wait until hits the fan to figure out what your family's going to eat. But all hope is not lost. Here's the plan. It's called From the Farm, an industry-disrupting platform that directly connects customers and local farmers with a website that's as easy to use as Airbnb. From the Farm gives you fresher, higher quality foods, strengthens communities, and helps small farmers not only survive, but thrive. We can't do this alone. We need the strength of the American people behind us. Help us build a new food system that combines the wisdom of the past with the technology of the future. Investing in From the Farm isn't just a financial decision. It's an investment into our future, our small family farms, and our food sovereignty. Invest today.
All right, we are back, joined by Chris Barrett out of Missouri, who's running for his local legislature. But one thing I'm gonna talk about too is issues that we have here in Idaho. Is whoever the elites think are the best candidates are backed by a lot of money, which, as you said, also in your case, your opponent is backed by a lot of money. Do you know which companies, and I'm going to say rather big companies there in Missouri, are funding your opponent? Have you been made aware of it in any of that?
We have not done enough Oppo research to figure that out yet. We definitely are going to be looking into that. So I can't make any guesses. I just know from trusted friends in the legislature, that people that I know in the legislature, that he is very well funded. And so I need to do some Oppo research on him, figure out exactly who is funding him, and go from there.
Well, 'cause here in Idaho, a lot of our candidates and especially those that we voted out last year were funded by big companies like Micron, IACI. IACI is actually an acronym for what I can't remember, but those particular companies that I just mentioned, of course, they're funded by somebody else. And of course, the chain effect to climb that food chain there reaches none other than George Soros. So I'm sure you're gonna be dealing with somebody who's got that kind of funding, whether whatever big corporation there you have in Missouri is funding him. You can bet that corporation is funded by Soros and whoever.
Yeah, I can't speak specifically to my opponent when it comes to that, but I will say this is that I do know that a lot of out of state money came in for something that we had here called Amendment 3. Amendment 3 was a constitutional amendment that basically made Missouri one of the most leftist states, if you can believe that, when it comes to abortion. And it does provide for abortion up to the point of birth. It also allows well, let me back up a second. It never uses the term woman. It always refers to whoever is pregnant in generic terms. So I think you know where we're going there.
Yes.
So we're talking about WPATH guidelines, World Professional Association on Transgender Health. They tend to use that type of terminology. And so it was obviously an attack on Missouri's SAFE Act, which prevents child sex changes. So it was a twofer. Most people in Missouri, I do truly believe, thought that they were voting for something that would allow for for some exceptions, exception for the mother's health, uh, rape or incest. I think that's what they really thought that they were voting for. But no, it was a totally bad thing. And now it's illegal in the state of Missouri to sue an abortion provider. You cannot sue them if they commit malpractice. And that's the situation that we're in. And Planned Parenthood, maybe George Soros, I'm not 100% sure, had something to do with this. But a lot of money was dumped into this. And it's no surprise that it passed because I mean, it took us all by such surprise that the opposition, which included me, included leftist friends of mine, in fact, because they were like, "Oh my God, this is awful." You know,
Mhm.
it caught us all off guard, and we just didn't have time to get something organized. I mean, this was clearly something that was in the works for several years, and after the Supreme Court decision kicked in, they unleashed it on the state of Missouri. And now we have some of the most hardcore left wing abortion laws in this country. And we're technically a conservative state.
Yeah, well, and I remember too that Ohio passed a law in 23 that would allow for abortions to be up to the point of birth. And of course, having lived in Ohio for a significant uh, time, I know a lot of people there, and I encourage them. That they had to vote against this proposition. Then, of course, what I get is I'm against women's rights to choose. That was the first thing that fired at me. So it's like it's okay to commit murder. This is not your body you're talking about. This is an infant's body. We're talking up to late term. And then they say, well, late term abortions never happen. They don't?
I got to tell you guys, I'm for the woman's right to choose. You can choose a condom. You can choose spermicide. You can choose the morning after pill. Choose to not go that route and use another form of satisfaction. There is no excuse to use abortion for birth control.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure that there's, if anyone from Missouri is watching, I mean, I'm sure that they're kind of curious about my position on abortion. I do like the new thing that came out from the Missouri legislature, which does give some of those exceptions, but otherwise bans abortion. Um, and that will become that will go up before the voters as a constitutional amendment, and that I can kind of support. Um, generally speaking, for me personally, I'm pretty much just fine with the health of the mother as an exception. And because that's like such a tiny fraction of any abortion that ever happens, it's almost rare. It almost never even happens. But, I'm fine with allowing that exception. But I think that what the Missouri legislature did was good. But again, the people like me who think that compromise bill, I guess, or compromise amendment to revoke Amendment 3. Uh, People like me who think that that is a good idea, I mean, we're going to have to be on our toes. Um, is it going to save all babies? No, it's not. That's terrible. But is it going to save most babies? Yes, it will. Right now, as it is, no baby's safe. So we at least we're moving in the right direction. So hopefully that'll pass, but that's going to be in the people's hands.
Actually, I should repeat something that I read a few months ago from some leftist idiot. I just couldn't believe what I read, but then again, their train of thinking does not surprise me anymore. But they said that there should be a law passed that every pregnant Trump supporting woman it should be required to go have an abortion. Oh, you're okay. Your reaction is priceless there.
Oh my God. And so clearly you just don't care about people. And I mean, honestly, I think that that is the problem with the people that are all for unfettered abortion, abortion on demand, essentially. They just don't care about people, you
Or
know and these babies who are being sent to us, I believe from God. We need to do our best to make sure that they have a chance to enter into this world.
yes, yes. Well, as I stated at the Red Pill a good number of times too, is that I myself am considering more and more running for office because my sister's grandson was just born. I can't remember what relation that is to me, but I'm pretty sure that's just another nephew. But still, little Owen, he's only a month old. And I got to think about his future. In fact, I've already said that I'm going to will my guns to him. At 50 years old, I'm not by any means going to say all my chapters are written, but I don't have a whole lot left.
So you Billy.
That's all right. There you go.
Yeah. That is it. Yeah, I was trying to do the familial connection in my head too. Yeah, you'd be a great uncle. Well, I'll tell you what, Billy. Just all I can say is get ready for quite a mind f. I know that we're on TV, so we have to, watch our language. But just get ready for a mind f when you run for office, especially if it's going to be on state level. It's quite interesting, for sure. And some of the stuff that you're going to find out about your state government and everything is going to. Make you feel very disillusioned. But you just need to stay strong
Yeah.
and just
Well,
keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward because it's like that guy said in the video that we played, or that you played originally. It's like ultimately the people that we need to be electing to office are people like us. Those
absolutely.
are those are the people that need to be elected to office. So, I mean, I'm trying to do my best to get elected to office, and I think that you would make a great legislator or city councilman or something along those lines. By the way, the only reason I didn't start with something smaller is because I do like my city councilman, so I wasn't going to run against him.
Yeah, I hear you. But you know what? Just as they said in the Matrix too, you take the red pill, you find out how deep the rabbit hole goes, and you'll be amazed at what you find. Yes.
Well, yeah, and once you start running for office, you'll start getting a lot of people telling you things that are quite interesting.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I think if we have the right people in office, you know, the true patriots, the people who care about this country, the people who care about children, the people who care about their states, the people who care about their communities, those type of people, I think will be fine. We just need to make sure that those are the type of people that we're electing. And unfortunately, that's not always what's happening.
Yes. Well, here we are at the bottom of the hour, so that means we take our bottom of the hour break, and we'll continue this discussion because it's getting more and more interesting as we go along here in about 3.5 minutes. We'll be right back.
Hey friend, do not forget to shop our affiliates. There's Mike Lindell's My Pillow. Use the promo code OUTLAW to save up to 66% off your order, or possibly more if there's a special going on. There's also My Patriot Supply. Make sure you're prepared for the next unplanned emergency. Get yourself some food with a 25-year shelf life, water filtration systems, solar-powered equipment, and other essential goodies at My Patriot Supply. If you like cigars, there's Patriot Cigar Company. Use the promo code OUTLAW to save up to 15% off your order. There's also We the People holsters for great inside the waistband and outside the waistband holsters, apparel, and other goodies at We the People holsters. Tactical Brotherhood offers merchandise that's veteran-owned and American-made. Your purchase with Tactical Brotherhood supports veteran organizations. Make your life easier and better with merchandise from the Caravan to Midnight store. At Concealed Carry, you can get news, purchase merchandise, obtain firearm safety training, and much more at Concealed Carry. AmmoSquared helps firearms owners stay stocked up on ammunition automatically. With AmmoSquared, you'll never have to worry about running out of ammunition ever again. Set it and forget it. Enroll in Red Pill University, where you can go beyond the matrix and learn what's really going on in the world. Protect your investments by investing in gold or silver from Noble Gold Investments. Silver Lining Herbs offers a wide range of herbal supplements for horses, dogs, and people. Harness the natural benefits of herbs to support the health of your beloved animals, as well as your own health. Use the promo code OUTLAW to save on your order. Support your health and be prepared for any emergency in the Brighteon Store. Shop from a wide selection of ultra-clean and lab-verified superfoods, supplements, preparedness items, and other health products. Elevate your heart health with Cardio Miracle, a nitric oxide supplement that promotes and sustains the body's natural production of nitric oxide. Use the promo code OUTLAW to save on your order. Check out the Folium PX line of antioxidant supplements. Folium PX, Folium Relax, and Folium Immuno. Use the promo code OUTLAW to save on your order. In the RNC store, a service of the Richardson Nutritional Center, find quality natural health supplements to improve your wellness. Use the promo code OUTLAW to save on your order. Available to buy and stream. Finish This Fight, Diary of a Pissed Off American Soldier. Veteran, country music artist, and patriot Glenn Baker embarks on a cross-country mission to seek real solutions to today's pressing issues. At Mammoth Nation, shop American and veteran-owned merchants and get exclusive discounts. Use promo code TIBN, 4 USA. Where do you go for children's books with a Christian conservative perspective minus the woke nonsense? Brave Books. That's where. Use promo code TIBN, 4 USA. The links for all of the affiliates mentioned here can be found in the description of this video, or visit thebeardedpatriots.com/affiliates. Again, all of the links for all of the affiliates mentioned in this video can be found in the description of this video, or go to thebeardedpatriots.com/affiliates. See you there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, of course, joined by Chris Barrett out of Missouri, and continuing this conversation. Now, Chris, when you're elected, of course, what are some of the most important issues to you that you feel that you need to tackle head on?
Yeah, so for me, definitely increasing access to mental health care. That is one thing, and I'll jump back to that in a second. I'll give you the list, but the mental health care is definitely a very important thing to me. Protecting our children, actually, that's number one. Protecting our children from some of this crazy leftist ideology. Um, Backing up our first responders, so definitely police officers, firefighters, paramedics, that sort of thing. And then also trying to bring some decent jobs to Missouri. I'm kind of hoping that Trump's tariffs will pay off and start making companies look back to, you know, the United States, and maybe we can take advantage of that. Um, but the mental health care thing is very important to me, and here's why: because it actually ties into the first responders thing as well. Um, in my district, homelessness is a huge problem. And so a lot of the people who are homeless, and I've interacted with many of them because I try to help them out however I can, but it's clear that they're not mentally well. And they do need some sort of mental health care. There is this amazing organization in my community called Comprehensive Mental Health, and they will provide to people who are homeless free mental health care and housing. Now, here's the kicker. A lot of these people don't want it at first. So I would like to see maybe some sort of legislation where they have to do it, you know? So force them into it and get them better. And then at the end, once they become, you know, more stable people, then they try to find jobs for them. So now we're taking people who are homeless. We're not setting up shelters to just continue the problem. What we're doing is we're fixing the problem. We're actually getting them back into the workforce and making them productive members of society. So that is an important thing to me. And yes, it will take probably some government money to do that. I do plan on setting up an appointment with the CEO of Comprehensive Mental Health and seeing what the state can do to help with that. But maybe we can cut some money from some of the wasteful spending that we've got going on
Yeah.
and redirect it to something like that that's actually worthwhile and will actually help improve the quality of life for everybody. Um, the other thing is too is it's like I think about like the first responders and stuff like that. I mean, their family members and they themselves go through so much. And just recently, I think it was in Topeka, we saw where an officer committed suicide. And so that's definitely an issue. So but that was Topeka, Kansas. I'm not obviously I'm not talking, but it is close to me where I live in Missouri. And I know that this stuff goes on in Missouri. My dad was a Kansas City, Missouri police officer. He was also a firefighter as well after he left the police force. And they go through a lot. And I mean, while their health insurance probably provides for halfway decent mental health care, it would be nice to see programs set up that specifically address their needs. And to my knowledge, that doesn't exist. So I would like to see something like that happen. Protecting children. So obviously, we need to deal with the child trafficking problem, child sex trafficking problem. That is something
Definitely.
that is definitely something that's going on in Missouri. We need to deal with all the other stuff that I was talking about, the stupid drag shows for kids, the inappropriate books, the kids going to these crazy pride events, child sex changes and stuff. Because here's the thing. I think the reason that stuff exists is because what we're ultimately trying to do in this society, well, not we, but our society, our evil society at this point in time, is trying to do is basically make it okay for the concept of what are called minor attracted persons. What that means
Oh,
is, what that
yeah,
means is, we're trying to make pedophilia acceptable.
yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
Normalize it. Yeah.
And yeah, we're trying to normalize that. And we're doing it off the backs of, the gay and lesbian rights movement. But it could have been anything because it's like, I mean, I went to the Pride event in Albany, New York. And, the funny thing is like, I think I saw one gay couple there with a kid, but the rest of them were like moms and dads with their kids and everything. So it's a societal problem. So I try to tell people, it's like, let's not point fingers. It's just an overall societal problem that we're dealing with here.
Well,
And and let's take care of that. And then lastly, bringing the jobs and stuff like that, at least to my state, Kansas, in the area that I live in, because I'm in Kansas City. Just so you know, Kansas City, the real Kansas City, is in Missouri. And um, anyway, the thing is Kansas has done a really good job of drawing jobs away from Missouri. Well, I don't want to be in a fight with Kansas, because they're great people and they deserve jobs. We deserve jobs, that sort of thing. I just want to see if President Trump's tariffs do work and actually start bringing jobs back to this country. I want to see what I can do to make Missouri a more hospitable place for business so that we can get those jobs. So there you go. That is essentially my campaign.
I just wanted to bring something up too. Of course, we got a couple minutes before we go to our last break too. But like you said, protecting children is so essentially important. And then it wasn't too long ago, somebody sent me a video of a pride event. God, I think it was in Florida. I can't remember. But you have this dude who's dressed in his skimpy leather, wearing a collar and a leash and one of those stupid dog masks.
Oh yes.
And he handed his leash to a 5-year-old and let him lead him around. That's got to
See,
stop.
yeah, see, so that is the problem with that. It's like if they want to have these pride events, I guess you could say the libertarian in me is kind of like, fine, have those pride events. You go right ahead and do that, but don't allow kids into it. And you make sure that you set up this event in such a way that kids can't be around it. Because if you're going to be going there doing your fetishistic sort of BS, then kids don't need to be around it. And I don't think that we can trust all adults in order to keep kids safe, unfortunately. Obviously, we can't. There's child sex trafficking, for goodness sake. So we can't trust all adults to keep kids safe. So the leaders of these events and stuff like that need to take the appropriate precautions. And if they're not willing to do it, then we need government to step in and to make sure that they can't bring kids around this type of stuff. The funny thing is, Billy, when I used to go to pride events when they were truly gay pride events, and for anyone who hasn't figured out, I'm a gay dude. Um, the thing is when I originally went to those, none of the stuff existed. It just didn't happen. I mean, the worst thing that you might see is like dykes on bikes or something like that, you know. And that was pretty much it. And but there were no kids around. No one brought their kids to this stuff because it was a political protest. It was a political protest.
Yeah.
Why would you bring kids to it? So it's evolved from something else, from what it originally was. And personally, I would like to see it all obliterated and just taken off the face of this earth. But I know that that's probably not going to happen. So at the very least, let's keep the kids away from it. They don't belong there, because what's going on is these aren't gay pride events, and I think that that's probably why we saw so many moms and dads bringing their kids there, is because they still think that these are gay pride events. And it's like, no, they're not.
They're
They're just these are fetishistic pride events. These are pride events, and they have very little to do with the gay stuff anymore. So if you want to make your kid, okay with the gays, I don't have a problem with that. But don't take them to a pride event.
I
That's the
know
worst thing that you could possibly do.
there's different ways to teach tolerance, and that approach is not it for sure.
You got it. You got
Yeah.
it. It is not it. It is not it.
So we're going to go ahead and take our last commercial break. We'll be back to wrap things up in about 1 minute.
Welcome to Shop with America, where the emphasis is on America. Our movement is to switch away from your shopping with the big box stores and the mega corporations back to supporting family-owned, made in America. We've been giving these big box stores our money every day for years. But what's happened is they've forced many small businesses to shut down. We call this the illusion of choice. We see all these products in these stores, but in reality, it's only a few companies that control it all. There are thousands of lawsuits for health damage because they put profit over our people. But there is another choice. We found a better way. There's a family-owned American factory with product integrity and have always done things the right way for the right reasons. And this company outperforms the big box stores. That's due to their month-to-month shopping club. They make everyday consumer products that we all use and buy again and again, like toothpaste, shampoo, coffee, and organic beef. Go to shopwithamerica.us today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and getting ready to wrap things up here, this edition of Patriot Confederation. And I think it's been a very informative conversation here with Chris. And, John, did you've been awfully quiet. Did you have anything else to say? Because Chris pretty much took up the entire last segment, of course.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, we want to hear from Chris. That's why he's here. But no, I think what you were referring to before the break, by bringing children to the these events that are going on, is to try to normalize it, make it look like a family environment, something that is not obviously a family environment. So people will be more accepting of it because once they get the association, they start accepting it. But you're absolutely right. These things are they kind of bundled these things together and made them one big unit and tried to piggyback on homosexuality. And I know a lot of gay people, gay communities are very, very concerned that it's going to destroy something for them that they work hard to build.
Oh yeah, absolutely, John. Yeah, that is something that a lot of gay people are very concerned with. It's like we kind of understand the backlash, but we do also want people to know that a lot of this stuff started well before same-sex marriage. I mean, really, the trans rights movement started in the 1970s. And it goes all the way back to that. And then if you want to look at John Money, who what he was like 1960s, who really started pushing this idea of gender ideology and that sort of stuff. They just basically hijacked what we did, and it's really kind of unfortunate because and so I mean, here I am, I'm a patriotic American conservative. Gay is the last thing that I give a F about. You know, that's the least interesting thing about me. Otherwise, I mean, I think that the three of us probably have a whole lot in common.
Mhm.
So, it's like, I am trying to reach out to my demographic. I hate the community word, but I'll say demographic. I am trying to reach out to my demographic to stand up against this stuff. But I am also trying to reach out to other demographics, heterosexual people, and stuff like that too, because it's like, no, don't take your kids to this stuff. This is not good. You
Right.
know,
Through the years have known that this stuff exists. I mean, there were songs in the 70s, Lou Reed, so on and so forth, about all
Rock or
the
picture
things
show.
going on, right? We've witnessed it sometimes. I mean, I remember when I was a 12-year-old kid in the mall with my mother, and there's a man over 6 feet tall in high heels, dressed as a woman. I didn't really notice it so much as a 12-year-old. My mother pointed it out to me later on. She said, I don't know why he felt the need to do that, but it neither here nor there. We knew. We never made a big deal out of it. But for some reason, they decided to make a big deal out of it. What goes on behind closed doors is their business. And that's
right?
me.
Uh,
Yeah,
well,
no, I totally agree. I totally agree.
Chris, I'd like to get your reaction to something else that I read too from another idiot. And I've actually repeated this a few times, but a trans person said, only under communism can we achieve true equality. How do you how do you react to that?
Well, okay, so I would like to know what a trans person thinks equality is, because ultimately they're still either an actual man or an actual woman. I don't care what sort of hormones they've taken or what surgeries they've had done. It's like, so I mean, are you saying that men who dresses women need special rights, or women who dresses men need special rights? What are you looking at here? Because I'll tell you what, this is one of the reasons I'm like such a patriotic American, is because America made it possible for a person like me to have actual equal rights. So, and but I don't know what equal rights they're looking for. What equal rights is he even saying
Well,
that he
well, see,
needs?
that's the thing too. Is basically, Karl Marx had the idea that, oh my goodness, that person's got more money than me. That's not fair. So we need to divide that wealth, of course. And all of this, the end game is communism. And what has happened under communist regimes around the world? Well, they've never worked. People have starved to death. The suicide rates go through the roof. So yeah, I mean, communism is a pile of dog poop topped with whipped cream and chocolate and strawberries and all that. But when you still,
Sprinkle.
yeah, you still want to take a bite?
Yeah, communism didn't get me anything, but I'll tell you what, freedom and the American dream actually got me something. I lead a decent life with my partner, and we have all the same rights that everybody else needs, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for the United States of America for making that possible. I'm very appreciative of my country, because I understand that it's not something our society had to do, because we're such a tiny proportion of the population. But I'm sorry, I'm actually tearing up a little bit. But the thing is like this country made this possible.
Absolutely. And like I said, look at other countries that have decided to go the route of socialism / communism. Venezuela. I mean, why did the former Soviet Union disband and become Russia, Ukraine, Georgia, Belarus, and all that? Because communism wasn't working. You know, Karl Marx,
No.
Vladimir Lenin, Fidel Castro. Yeah, all evil dictators that thought communism was a good idea only because they themselves got enriched while their people suffered. So yeah,
Oh, and I'll tell you what. The funny thing is, it's almost kind of like the Queers for Palestine movement. You know,
yeah,
which is absolutely absurd. And you know, it's like, yeah, sure. If you love being thrown off a building, I go right over there and have fun with it. You know, that sounds like a great idea. Communism. You know, listen to people like Vladimir Putin. Listen to people like. Oh God, what's his name in China? They
Xi Jinping.
yeah, Xi Jinping. They pretend that people like me don't exist. You know, that is a hallmark of communism. So any gay person that supports a leftist agenda, any gay person who supports this crazy like Palestinian movement and all that type of stuff is insane. They're absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, there is only one equality to communism, and that is pretty much everybody's equally poor. I mean, we're talking
Pretty
complete
much.
poverty, and nobody that I know of wants to live that way, regardless of race or sexual preference or whatever.
What people don't realize and why they push communism so hard is because when poor people are hungry people. Hungry people are compliant people. And that's what they want here in the United States of America. That's why they keep pushing for communism. That's why they're trying to recreate our ideals and our ideologies, because they want us to accept their ideologies so they can control us.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Um,
standing in a food line, yeah, they're controlling the food supply.
Yeah.
well, I definitely do want to ask everybody who is watching to please pay attention to that ticker going down there, Barrett Formo. That's BARRETT 4FORMO.com. If you can
Don't forget the
kick in
www. Yeah, you remember
Oh
it only.
yes, and it has to be www. We need to get that fixed. So www.barrettformo.com. If you can kick in a few bucks, that would be great. It would be super helpful. We do have a first round of mailers and stuff like that that need to go out. That's super expensive to have designed and printed. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate you, Billy, and I appreciate you, John, for having me on here. This is great.
Yes, yes, and as time draws closer, we'll have to do this again. Unfortunately, we are out of time. But you already took care of the plugs for me before I asked you, because I was going to ask you to do that. Yeah,
I just wanted to get them in there because it's like I'm like, oh please, 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 let's not ask that.
yeah. Oh yeah, I would have made sure of it. On tap for next week, we have a local Idahoan. Don't laugh at his name, but his name is Andrew Crapshoots. That's actually his name. So, yes, he's an entrepreneur. We're going to be speaking with him next week. Chris, God bless you, and good luck in the campaign, because you got a bumpy road ahead of you for sure.
Yeah, I think I do. That's for sure.
It's always tough, man. It's always tough.
Yes, indeed. And thank you very much for tuning in to Patriot Confederation. God save the Republic of the United States of America.
Events of recent history indicate that Americans are setting a course for the end of their own great nation. The ever-growing trend in this country is to judge people people not by their individual character, but by their identity as a member of a specific group. No one has ever succeeded or failed in life as a result of their group affiliation. A person's success or failure is also not based on luck, but on the sum total of the decisions that they have made. Those who succeed do so through good work ethic and the wise use of their power to choose. The opposite is true of those who fail. The ideals of individual accountability and responsibility in the United States are dying every day. A gun cannot be responsible for a death, just as a shovel cannot be responsible for digging a ditch. Both are only tools and have no will of their own. Responsibility is an adjunct of conscious choice and is the price we pay for freedom. Freedom is also a tool. It's an essential tool that is needed by human beings if they are to prosper rather than to merely survive. Yet there are those who would rather trade their freedom for security. Some believe that it is the responsibility of government to provide freedom. In truth, we form government to ensure and protect the freedom that is already inherently ours.